Good morning. We left off where Milo tried to conduct the morning, and the conductor didn't realize that he had accidentally conducted 7 quick days. So now he's taking his place back on the podium. Pick it up there. You did a fine job, he said, patting Milo on the head. Someday I'll let you conduct the orchestra yourself. Tock wagged his tail proudly, but Milo didn't say a word, and to this day no one knows of the lost week but the few people who happened to be awake at 5:23 on that very strange morning. Those are the only people who do. We'd better be getting along, said Tock, whose alarm had begun to ring again, for there's still a long way to go. Chroma nodded a fond goodbye as they all started back through the forest, and in honor of the visit he made all the wildflowers bloom in a breathtaking display. I'm sorry you can't stay longer, said Alec. There's so much more to see in the Forest of Sight, but I suppose there's a lot to see everywhere, if you only keep your eyes open. They walked for a while, all silent in their thoughts, until they reached the car, and Alec drew a fine telescope from his shirt and handed it to Milo. Carry this with you on your journey, he said softly, for there is much worth noticing that often escapes the eye. Through it you can see everything from the tender moss in a sidewalk crack to the glow of the farthest star, and most important of all, you can see things as they really are, not just as they seem to be. It's my gift to you. Milo placed the telescope carefully in the glove compartment and reached up to shake Alec by the hand. Then he stepped on the starter and, with his head full of strange new thoughts, drove out the far end of the forest. The easy rolling countryside now stretched before them in a series of dips and rises that leaped up one side of each crest and slid gently down the other in a way that made stomachs laugh and faces frown. As they topped the brow of the highest hill, a deep valley appeared ahead. The road, finally making up its mind, plummeted down as if anxious to renew acquaintances with the sparkling blue stream that flowed below. When they reached the floor of the valley, the wind grew stronger as it funneled through the rocks, and directly ahead a bright-colored speck grew larger and larger. It looks like a wagon, cried Milo excitedly. It is a wagon, a carnival wagon, seconded Tock, and that's exactly what it was, parked at the side of the road, painted bright red and looking quite deserted. On its side, in enormous white letters, bordered in black, was the inscription, Cacophonous a Discord, and below, in slightly larger black letters, bordered in white, was Doctor of Dissonance. I like that. Perhaps if someone's at home, he might tell us how far we have to go, said Milo, parking next to the wagon. He tiptoed timidly up the 3 wooden steps to the door, tapped lightly, and leaped back in fright. For the moment he knocked, there was a terrible crash from inside the wagon that sounded as if a whole set of dishes had been dropped from the ceiling onto a hard stone floor. At the same time, the door flew open, and from the dark interior a hoarse voice inquired, Have you ever heard a whole set of dishes dropped from the ceiling onto a hard stone floor? Milo, who tumbled back off the steps, sat up quite quickly, while Tock and the humbug rushed from the car to see what had happened. Well, have you? Insisted the voice, which was so raspy that it made you want to clear your own throat. I should do a raspy voice. Not until just now, replied Milo, getting to his feet. Ha! I thought not, said the voice happily. Have you ever heard an ant wearing fur slippers walk across the thick wool carpet? And before they could answer, he went on in a strange croaking way. Well, Don't just stand there in the cold. Come in, come in. It's lucky you happened by. None of you looks well. And there he's look at his ears. Oh my goodness. There's Talk and the humbug. The faint glow of a ceiling lamp dimly illuminated the wagon as they cautiously stepped inside. Talk, first eager to defend against all dangers, Milo, next frightened but curious, and the humbug last, ready at any moment to run for his life. That's right, now, let's have a look at you, he said. Very bad, a serious case. The dusty wagon was lined with shelves full of curious boxes and jars of a kind found in old apothecary shops. It looked as though it hadn't been swept out in years. Bits and pieces of equipment lay strewn all over the floor, and at the rear was a heavy wooden table covered with books, bottles, and bric-a-brac. I like that word, bric-a-brac. We're going to leave it here and continue with Din and Discord next. We will leave it here, and next time we will continue with Din and Discord in the Phantom Tollbooth.